This is nonsense. 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 I don't know, is this random or no? Completely wild. The win rate is insane. Perfect reaction to the pip. Beautiful reaction. You know, the logic behind this trade, I don't know where it comes from. If you asked me to guess the outcome before we even started, I would say it would be random. Hello everyone, it's Dale here, and I decided to try if ChatGPT can predict the market and provide solid support and resistance levels. And I want to try this with the free ChatGPT version. That means it has no history and no training. And the result? Well, let's take a look at it. Now, how we do this? First, I'll upload a random screenshot from the chart. ChatGPT will give me support and resistance levels there, and then we will fast forward the chart and see how the levels worked. We'll do this a couple of times to see how ChatGPT is good at predicting the market. So first, we are going to grab a random screenshot from a chart. So what you see before you, this is NinjaTrader 8 platform, 30-minute chart of the euro dollar. I've loaded some data here, and we can just grab a random place of the chart and grab a screenshot here, right? So let me do that. And now I'll go to the ChatGPT and click this button right here, because this will turn my ChatGPT into the free version of ChatGPT, which means it has no history, no training, it doesn't know who I am, it doesn't know anything. It's basically like an anonymous user. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to upload that picture here, just drag and drop, and I'm going to give it a very simple prompt. And the prompt is going to be: you are an expert volume profile trader. Take a look at this chart and give me strong support and resistance levels to trade from in the future. Provide exact values. Give short explanation behind each support or resistance level. Be brief, no fluff. Alright, here are our levels. Now I'll go back to the chart and I'll print the levels there. So here we have the levels. The green ones are supports, the red ones are resistances. Alright, so those are resistances and those are supports. Now let's take a look at how the price reacted to those levels in the future. So right now we are at this support at 111.10. So now the price should go up, right? And believe it or not, it actually does. So we have a first winner. And it is actually a bit surprising to me, because what the ChatGPT is telling me is that the reasoning behind this support is a local point of control. Yeah, that's true. And then the price was consolidating here. That's also true. But, you know, I wouldn't personally pick this trade. But as you can see, it is a winner. So yeah, first one is a winner. Let me delete this level. And now the price hit a first resistance. So now the price should go down. Let's see what happens. Oops, it doesn't. And, you know, this doesn't really surprise me, because if you look at the level here, it's not really based on any volumes. There's simply nothing really to trade from. So to me, it just looks like a random level on the chart. And yeah, it's a loser. So right now we have one winner, one loser. Let me delete this line because it's tested and see what comes next. Let's fast forward. Okay, next level got hit, this resistance, and also a loser. The price just went past the level. But to be frank, this level was not too bad actually, because there was this heavy volume zone followed by a strong sell-off. So this would actually be a level that I personally would be also considering to trade. But in the end, I probably wouldn't take this trade because there's a weak high. I'm not really into picking levels like those, but it's not totally a wrong level to trade from. All right, so one winner, two losers. Let's delete this level because it's tested, and let's move forward a bit. Okay, next level hit, resistance, this one. Wow, perfect reaction. Let's take a look at the reasoning behind this resistance. It says that there is a high volume node, and I'm not really sure what that means, like this one. This is not a high volume node. So kind of doesn't make sense really. There's a high volume node in here, but it has been tested right here. So to me, it doesn't really make any sense to go short from here. So again, it says high volume node. Sellers defended this before sharp drop. Okay, this is the drop. Okay. The reasoning is a bit wild, but reaction is there. So we have 2 winners, 2 losers. Let's delete that level and let's move forward. Let's see if those 2 supports get hit. Okay, they don't. Up until today, they remain untested. So we can't really tell whether they work or no. Pretty funny thing is that the ChatGPT picked this level, which if you look at the picture which I sent it, is actually below the chart. So it couldn't really see what was happening in this area before. So it's kind of like shooting in the dark, right? To me, it looks like a random level, but ChatGPT picked this level and said that this is a low volume rejection zone from May 1st. And, it's funny because it didn't really see that data from that period. And it is a strong historical bounce area. So, I don't know, is this random or no? I guess we need to give it a little more testing then. So let's delete those levels which did not get tested. And let's scroll to some random part in the chart. Let's say in here. Let's delete this line and let's enlarge it a bit and grab a screenshot and again upload it to the ChatGPT and tell it do the same for this chart. Okay, here we have our resistance and support levels. So let's go back to the chart and see how the levels worked. Alright, so here we have our levels. The red ones are the resistances and the green ones are the supports. Funny thing here is that it actually showed this level as a resistance even though the price is above it. So it doesn't really make sense. So what I'll do, I'll just delete this level because it's under resistance, the price is above it. So we have those 2 resistances here, those 3 supports, and let's see how the price reacted to them. So now the price hit the first resistance here, and it should go down. It actually sort of did. Right here, if you look at it, it's almost 20 pips from this place to this place. So I would actually count this as a winning trade. It's not super clear though. To me, it looks like more or less like luck, but 20 pips is not too bad. So let's mark it as a winner and let's see what happens next. Now the price hit the second resistance in here. So that means that the price should go down. Wow, it actually made a reaction. And that's frankly a bit surprising because I don't really see any heavy volume zone in here, any strong level to consider. This is, just a zone where the price was reacting in the past, but let's see the reasoning behind this level. Let's see why the ChatGPT picked this level. So it says that there's a strong high volume node and that the price stalled here multiple times. Okay, it probably means that this was the heavy volume zone, which is true. It got tested though. This heavy volume zone got tested here, here and here. But still, yeah, the price made another reaction here. I wouldn't personally pick this level because it has been tested many times before. But as you can see, it was a winner. So we have 4 winners, 2 losers. Not bad. Let's delete it and let's see what happens next. The price is quite far from the support, so I hope that it will go back and we'll be able to tell. Okay. Not bad. Wow, this is surprising. Pretty nice reaction to that support. Let me actually see what the support was based on. Yeah, based on nothing. Nothing. This looks like a random level to me, but there was a reaction. So let's see what the ChatGPT can tell us about this level, alright? It says that there is a largest high volume node below current price and that there's a key balance area. Now I don't know what that means. Where is the largest volume node? It's not here. the level worked, but the reasoning is, completely wild. But it was a winner. I need to write this down because it was a winner. Nice reaction, even though, the logic behind this trade, I don't know where it comes from. Okay, let's move forward. We still have 2 supports. Okay, up until today, they did not get hit, so let's delete them. And let's try another area in the chart. Okay, let's make it random. For example, this part. Grab a screenshot. And again, upload it to the ChatGPT. And tell it to do the same. Alright, here we have our levels. So let me mark those on the chart. Alright, so here are the levels on the chart. The green ones are supports, red ones are resistances. Again, a very weird thing, it marks this level as a resistance, even though the price is above it. So it's kind of weird. I'll delete that level because it doesn't really make too much sense to leave that on the chart. And let's fast forward and see how the levels worked. And I'm very curious because so far the win rate has been great. So let's see if that continues in the future. Okay, price hit that first resistance here, this one, and shot past it. So that would be a loser. Not really any reaction here. And no wonder I don't really see why the price should actually react here. Let's move forward. Now here the price hit that second resistance. Let's fast forward a bit. Yeah, not really any reaction. Let's see how many pips it was. Just a little bit over 10 pips, but I wouldn't really count this as a winner. As you can see, the price just, rotated around the level and then went up. So I would count this as a losing trade, since there was only just a small reaction before the price went completely past that level. Alright, so resistances are done. Let's see if the price hits the supports. Okay, we have a first hit right here. Beautiful reaction. So we have a winner. And out of curiosity, let's take a look at the reasoning behind this level. Why ChatGPT picked this particular level? It says that it's a major high volume node from January and that there's a strong base before a rally. So let's take a look at it. Let's scroll back and take a look here. So major high volume node probably means this or this. I'm not sure, but the level is kind of between the nodes, so it's kind of weird. Anyways, it is a strong base before a rally. Well, there was some rotation before strong buying activity, so yeah, it's not completely off, even though the reasoning behind this level is a bit too weird. Anyways, the price made a reaction to it, so I count it as a winner. Now let's delete it and let's take a look at the next one. Okay, the next one, there was a gap. So the level did not get triggered. We delete it and we take a look at the last one, the last support, and wow, perfect reaction to the pip. So we have another winner. And I'm really surprised. I need to say I'm really surprised. I didn't really prepare the charts or anything. I just, pick random place in the chart, give completely untrained ChatGPT some pictures, and the win rate is insane given the fact that it's not trained and, just giving me levels. Okay, I just wanted to look at the reasoning behind this level, why it picked this level here, what's the logic behind it. And what it says is that there's the strongest demand zone in the chart, large high volume node from January 12th and 13th accumulation. Okay, it probably means this. And yeah, it's trading from the bottom of that heavy volume zone. Surprisingly, it just works. Perfect reaction. So yeah, I'm really surprised. Now let's grab a new place on the chart. Again, completely random. Let's scroll. For for example here, and let's take another screenshot. Again, we take that screenshot and upload it to ChatGPT and tell it to do the same. Okay, here are the levels, and let me print them on the chart. Alright, so here are the levels, and let's see how they play out. So let's move forward. Now the price is very close to that first resistance, so now the price should go down. In this case, I wouldn't really say that this was a successful trade. The price was just rotating around the level, then went past it quite a lot in here. So I would say that this one was a losing trade, but you know, it really depends on how you would set up that trade. In this video, I just really want to do very quick analysis to see whether this leads anywhere or no. So I'm not really giving it any special treatment yet. I just want to see whether the price is reacting to those levels or no. All right, so this resistance is spent, and let's see what's next. Okay, support got hit in here, but the price opened below the level on Monday, so I wouldn't really trade this. So let's just delete this, and let's leave the level out of our little table with results, and let's see how the rest of the levels went. Okay, price hit a resistance in here, so now the price should go down. Didn't, it went up. Okay, so we have a losing trade. I'll delete that level and continue. Another level hit, and this one is a winner. See, beautiful reaction here. So we have a winner. Let's take a look at the reasoning behind this winner. I'm curious. What the ChatGPT says is that there's a strong high volume node. Okay, let's take a look. Strong high volume node. Where? Where is the strong high volume node? It's not here. And multiple failed breaks. It's funny. The level worked. The reasoning behind the level is totally off. So I'm not really sure what to think of it, but it's a winner. So let's mark it down and let's continue and see if the price hits that last level that we have here, which is this support at 1440. Yeah, up until today the level did not get hit, so let's just delete it. I'll do one more picture, and then I'll try to do some conclusion of the results. All right, so random place on the chart, for example here, grab a screenshot, upload the screenshot to the ChatGPT, and here are our levels. So let's mark them down on the chart. Alright, so here are the levels, 3 resistances, 3 supports, and again, the resistance which is in here is completely off because the price is moving above it, so this can't be a resistance. So I'll just delete that from the chart and we'll work with the rest. Alright, so let's see how it plays out. Now the price hit the first resistance in here, so now the price should go down. Let's see if it actually does go down. Well, what do you think? Not really. Price overshot the level in here. Let me see how many pips it was. 11 pips. I wouldn't really call this a winner. The truth is the price didn't really react to the level, so I'll mark it as a losing trade, even though this one is not so black and white. Let's see the rest. Okay, the next resistance, this one got hit, the price went past it. Another loser. And let's see if the supports get hit. Okay, first support got hit in here. The price went past it, so it's a losing trade. Then the second one, beautiful reaction. So that's a winner. I'm interested in the reasoning behind this winner. It says that there's a dense volume from November 25th, 26th, defended strongly. Okay, dense volume in here. Not really. Dense volume is in here, but not here. So, did it actually see the picture or no? The reaction is perfect, but the reasoning, again, is nonsense. This is nonsense. It says that it was defended strongly. It probably means this rejection, which is true. You know, I didn't really tell this AI to trade like I do, so it might be using some different approach. You know, it has volume profile, it has a VWAP, it has price action here, but it could be using it differently than I would use it. So it's definitely picking different levels that I would. Anyways, the last level here, the second support here, that's a winner. And let me delete those two, and let's see if the last support, this one, gets hit. It did get hit in here. Price went past it, so that's definite loser here. Alright guys, I need to say that in my trading, I obviously don't rely just on the AI. I look at the big picture, I look for confluences, I look at the price action, the VWAP, I look at the order flow, I put everything together, make a picture of it, and then based on that picture I trade. So I do a lot of stuff that the AI doesn't. If you guys want to learn that from me, you can visit my website. It is at traderdale.com. If you click trading course and tools in here, then it'll take you to this page where you can browse my trading tools and trading education. In here, there are a couple of packs. There's the volume profile pack, order flow pack, VWAP pack, and smart money pack. You can pick one depending on what you are interested in, or you can scroll down a bit and get them all in one huge discounted bundle only for $7.97. Alright, but let's get back to a little testing and let's take a look at the results. So based what I have here is we have 10 winners and 10 losers. Now I'll double check whether I really counted this right when I was shooting this video, but 10 winners and 10 losers, that's exactly 50% win rate, which is more or less random. What strikes me is that some of the levels work really nicely to the pip. You saw that huge reactions to the pip. So I think that I really see some light at the end of the tunnel here. But you know, the result, even though at the beginning it looked very, very promising, then the more trades we took, the bigger sample we had, and the result, you know, not too surprising. 50% win rate. That's actually what I would have guessed. If you asked me to guess the outcome before we even started, I would say it would be random. Because if you have ChatGPT, which has no history, no training, nothing to work with, then you can't really expect good results. It was giving us some information about the trades, like the reasoning behind the trades, but you saw that it was just nonsense. It made no sense. It was made up. So the way I see this is we can't really use the ChatGPT to pick our levels like this. But I really do think that we can improve this. And what I like to do is I like to look into this more seriously and show you how to train the ChatGPT so it actually gives you good levels that make good logical sense and that provide solid results. Alright? This ChatGPT was not trained, but you can train it and it will perform way better. So if this video gets at least 500 likes, I'll make a new video where I'll show you how to go about improving the ChatGPT, about teaching it to trade, and how to actually make it a good trader and good helper in your trading. Alright, so if I have 500 likes, then I'll do the next video. I hope you guys liked today's experiment and I'll see you next time, and until then, happy trading.